Okay, video number 3 of geometry unit, area of trapezoids. This is by far the hardest one that you're going to have to do, but with a little quick and simple stuff, you'll be able to figure this out with no problems. Make sure you're paying attention to this one. It is very important. Graphic organizer number 2, you're going to need side number 1. You also need your math reference sheet, and it is very important that you get your math reference sheet because this one is more difficult. If you look right here, area of the trapezoid is 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2, and I will show you that here in just a second. All right, so our goal for this one is to be able to find the area of our trapezoids. That's simple. Your objective, you should be able to calculate the area of a trapezoid. All right, here's some key vocabulary. You need to know what a trapezoid is, you need to know what the base of a trapezoid is, and you need to know the height of a trapezoid. All right, what is a trapezoid? Well, a trapezoid is typically a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel lines. You notice parallel lines mean they are going in the same direction. They will not cross, they stay the same distance apart from each other. Okay, your parallel lines are at the top and the bottom most of the time. If it's turned sideways, well, then they're sideways. Those are also called your bases. All right, so your parallel lines are your bases. You notice the things on the sides that are not parallel, they have different angles, are your legs. That's very important. Okay? Remember, each of the parallel sides is called a base, and the non-parallel sides are called legs. All right, then you're also going to see the height. The height is the shortest distance from the top to the bottom, or between the two parallel lines. Now, generally, with a trapezoid, you will see this little 90-degree angle sign, and you'll see this line inside it. That is the height. That is the one you need. Let's move on. All right, so area of a trapezoid. So the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 the height, and then in parentheses, base 1 plus base 2. So I'm going to explain that on this first example. All right, so remember, area equals 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. And if you look here, you'll see base 1 can be either the top or the bottom. It does not matter. Okay, and then you also have the height. But you have to remember, you have things in parentheses. So you have to do base 1 plus base 2 before you do anything else. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, this is example number 1. This is your trapezoid. So in this particular case, you will see that you need to write down the formula first. All right, you always, and I mean always, write down the formula first. That's to get your first point. Step number 2, you need to go ahead and plug in your numbers. So the area equals 1/2, the height is 5, so you're going to put in 5 for that, times base 1 and base 2. Notice your two parallel lines are the 6 and the 8 in your trapezoid. When you add those together, you're going to get an answer. All right, so we're going to go ahead and follow the order of operations. The first thing you needed to do was add 6 plus 8. That gives you 14. Now, you have done everything in parentheses. The rest of the parentheses that they used is just simply multiplying. So you're going to have to do 1/2 times 5 times 14. Okay, and if you take 1/2 times 5 times 14 in your calculator, you are going to get an answer of 35. However, we need to make sure that we use our label. And you'll see at the bottom, 35 square inches, or 35 inches squared. And that is what you need. Okay? And that's your answer. That is example number 1. I'll show you a couple more. Let's go to example number 2. All right. Now, remember, we had 1/2, okay, the height, and I should put area, sorry. Got to get all my points, so I'm going to do it up here on the side. Area equals 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. All right, so we need to go ahead and plug in the numbers. Well, base 1 and base 2. Base 1, base 2, and this is the height. So let's go ahead and show what we put in there. So that means area equals 1/2 of 4 times 4 times, in parentheses, 7 plus 4. Ooh, 7 plus 4. Okay, and you can use your calculator. All right, you can go ahead and use your calculator, but I'm not even going to need to on this one. I'll just show you how it works. Go ahead and do the parentheses first. That's going to give you 11. So area equals 1/2 times 4 times 11. 1/2 of 4 is 2 times 11. That is going to give you an area of 22. We need our label. inches squared. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your answer. Now, remember, you can use a calculator, but you should also see how to do it showing your work. All right, moving on. Next one, example number 3. All right, area equals, I'm going to do it on the other side over here. Area equals 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. We're going to go ahead and plug in our numbers. Area equals 1/2. Remember, the height is up and down. That's 4. 1/2 times 4 times 6 plus 8. And 6 plus 8 we must do first, which gives us 14. All right, so 1/2 times 4 times 14. 1/2 of 4 is 2, so area equals 2 times 14, which gives you 28 inches squared. And once again, you can use your calculator if you need to. Let's move on. Example number 4. Last example for you, and then you're going to do independent practice. Here we go. Area equals 1/2 times the height times base 1 plus base 2. Remember, you're copying it down simply to get that point. Area equals 1/2 times 5 times 1 plus 6. Yuck. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Area equals 1/2 of 5. 1/2 of 5 is 2.5 or 2.5. 2.5, oops, sorry. Can't do that yet. 7. 1/2 times 5 times 7. Okay, 1/2 of 5 is 2.5 times 7. And if you want to throw that in your calculator, you can, or you can just simply do it. And what you're going to get is very simple. You're going to get 17.5. And we need to label, which is inches squared. So 17.5 inches squared. Those are your 4 examples. All right. I'm just going to give you the answers on these independent practice. So you've got 3 of them to do. I need you to do all 3 of these on your own paper. Check them here in just a second. All right, if you pause the video and figure them out, hopefully you get the correct answers. If you did not, you need to come see me for some help. All right, the first one, you should have gotten 63 meters squared. Number 2, you should have gotten 182 feet squared. And finally, for the last one, you should have gotten 50 centimeters squared. Remember, you need to show all of your work to get your points on your graphic organizer. Hopefully you figured this one out. All right, you have an exit ticket that needs to be shown to Mr. Williams. You have these 3 problems. Make sure you show all of your work to get all of your points. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck. Have fun doing area of trapezoids.